Hello there. And today I'm going to be talking about Richard Williams and what makes him such an important figure in the animation industry. Now, to start things off, he was born in Toronto, Canada on March 19th, 1933. And he went to go study at the Ontario College of Art. Now, you think that would be the school where he went to go study animation, right?
Right.
Wrong!
While he did love cartoons and animation, he was more into fine art back when he was a teenager. And it wasn't until his early 20s when he started to get back into animation again. But after so many achievements in his animation career, he sadly passed away on August 16th, 2019. Sad, yes, but let's get into those achievements. Quite possibly his most impressive achievement, Williams was the director of animation for the 1988 classic Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a movie that won 4 Oscars, 2 of which went to Williams himself. He and a few other members of the crew won for Best Visual Effects and a Special Achievement Award for bringing cartoons to life. Williams won a few other awards in his career, but I just wanted to give the spotlight to Roger Rabbit because it is my absolute favorite movie of all time. Williams also published a book for any future animator to read, titled as The Animator's Survival Kit, which came out in the year 2001. It gives the reader everything they need to know about animation, and they get to read about his experience with animation as well. From what I've heard from most artists, they say that this book is an essential read if you want to learn more about animation. I actually own the book myself, and let me tell you something, as somebody who really wants to learn more about this stuff, this book is very informative. I would most definitely recommend. And here we have 3 of Williams' most prominent works, Ziggy's Gift, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and The Thief and the Cobbler. Let's start with Ziggy's Gift.
Stop! You had me at Ziggy.
Ziggy's Gift is an Emmy-winning made-for-TV movie about a boy who spreads kindness to everyone on Christmas Eve. Now, this 30-minute movie may not seem all that complicated, which it isn't, but what really sells it is the way that the animation moves. You can truly tell that there was a lot of hard work and effort put into every single little frame that you see on screen. The movement of every character just looks so fluid and alive, and it also helps that the facial expressions complement the animation as well. Everything about this Christmas special is amazing. There's no way that Richard Williams is going to top this animated project. Oh right, now I already talked about this movie, so I'll try to sum it up real quick. The movie takes place in a world where humans and cartoon characters coexist. One of these cartoon characters, Roger Rabbit, is wanted for murder, but spoiler alert, he was framed, and it's up to Eddie Valiant to help him clear his name. Okay, plot summary complete. Let's talk about the animation now. The animation is obviously the highlight of the film. The way that the humans interact with the cartoon characters, and the way that the cartoon characters interact with the humans, honestly blew my mind as a kid. To the point where I actually thought that the cartoon characters were actual on-screen actors. Unless you want to count the voice actors. But even so, Richard Williams and the rest of the animation team did a phenomenal job with this movie. Also, fun fact, Richard Williams is the voice of Droopy.
Have a good day, sir.
On to the next film. A film about a princess and a cobbler retrieving 3 mystical orbs from a thief in order to save the kingdom. And this film is titled as The Thief and the Cobbler. And of course, the animation itself represents all the best qualities of every single movie that Richard Williams worked on. Everything, from the movement to the background to the art style, everything. And this was a project that Richard Williams was really passionate about. Development started in the 60s and it wasn't even released until the 90s. 30 years of production, and the movie looks fantastic. To the point where anytime an animation class taught about Richard Williams, they would always point to this movie first as an example of his works. So we all know that Richard Williams is an amazing animator, but what got him to be so in love with cartoons and animation? Well, to answer that, we gotta go back in time to the golden age of Disney. Since Richard Williams was born in the early 30s, he was able to witness the very first animated feature film. And that film was Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And it makes sense that this is the film that got Richard Williams to love animation in the first place, because back when this film came out, it was a huge deal. This movie broke new grounds for animation, and it was only a matter of time until Richard Williams was going to be part of that. Now, we already talked about what inspired Richard Williams, but now let's talk about what he inspires me as an artist. Because of how well detailed his drawings look, it inspired me to do the same with my drawings. Everything from the shading and the highlighting is what got me to think that I need to apply the same to my drawings. And while I may not reach the same level of quality as Richard Williams' other animated works, it's still nice to know that I have at least some knowledge to it. In conclusion, Richard Williams is one of the most important figures in the animation industry because he broke new grounds in animation and inspired millions of other artists to do the same. And while he's no longer with us, he and the impact he made on not only animation, but cinema in general will never be forgotten. With all that said, thank you so much for listening.
That's all, folks.